And with the 33rd pick in the NFL draft, who's selected, Tom?
Brandon Perna's dad.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's too handy around the house, and it's the 49ers drafting. They need someone to fix the substation up. The skills are right there.
Old, too old. Too old. All right, I guess I did not see that one coming.
Oh, baby. We here.
What's there?
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is G. Uppy. Yes. And the S stands for Sean McVay loves his new quarterback.
Ooh.
Oh, does it? I think they're going to be bestest friends. I think after that press conference, man, McVay cannot wait to coach up Ty Simpson, because, man, just a lot of love and admiration in that room, especially, again, coming from Sean McVay, and just how thrilled and happy he was. I think the greatest thing is, Brandon, is now I get to watch another team do this and go through the exact same conversations that Packers fans have gone through, not once, but twice, when they drafted Aaron Rodgers, and then, of course, when they drafted Jordan Love. And I'm just like, hey, I've seen this film before. I know this one.
Yeah, I have gone back and forth on what I think about Sean McVay and his body language, his verbiage of the Ty Simpson pick. And I think initially it was like, whoa, what a great fit for Ty Simpson. This is awesome for Ty Simpson. Sean 100%. McVay must love Ty Simpson. It seems like Les Snead loves Ty Simpson and his family. Yeah. And I think that's okay too. I think like Les Snead has a pretty damn good track record of drafting. And the Rams also, because one thing that was, kind of blowing up this morning was that Ty Simpson has never spoken to Sean McVay, but
correct.
That's kind of how they do their whole draft process.
Yeah.
He doesn't meet a lot of people. He doesn't go to the combine. So that's not odd. I think partially I think Sean McVay didn't really believe that they were drafting Ty Simpson until yesterday. And it was like, okay. And he called Matthew Stafford. And I think part of it is him trying to not sound excited about a quarterback with Stafford, coming back. And he said he would keep the conversation between him and Stafford, between them.
Yep.
So maybe Stafford wasn't thrilled about it. And that's just guessing. But for Ty Simpson, it's great.
For Ty Simpson,
like to see the Rams get a weapon there? Yes.
Sure.
Offense or defense.
Yep.
I kind of wanted to see him like go Reuben Bain and just add another monster on their defensive line. But
sure. Yeah. And then he said he's going to come in and compete with Stetson. He's just like, he's going to be competing for the backup spot. So that's it. Like, he was just very quick. Like, Les Snead is going on. He's like, I'm from Alabama, and you lose that first game and the sky is falling. But the way that he persevered, the way that he rose through adversity, I think that speaks a lot to the quarterback. And Sean McVay's like, yeah, he'll compete with the backup.
Yeah. What I want to know, okay, TMZ, whoever, I want to see the photos of Dan Orlovsky and Les Snead, Tom. I want to see
Dan Orlovsky's like vindication.
Yeah. What I'm saying is I think Dan Orlovsky and Les Snead are having an affair. And that's why Orlovsky was so confident to be high on Ty Simpson when nobody else was.
I mean, right on clickbait, they came out like right as we were about to leave. They're just like, Ty Simpson can go real early in the first. And I think that talking to some Rams fans, there's a few schools of thought here. Max, yeah, don't worry. We will talk about the Delane trade because I liked the pick a lot, but yeah, they did give up a good amount to go get him. I think for the Rams, if you want to go off the branch of thought you were just talking about how much of a good fit this is for Ty Simpson, makes all the sense in the world, right? Matthew Stafford, is he going to come back? How long is he going to play? He wins MVP last year. He says he's going to come back. But at most, the thought is Matthew Stafford's going to be on the Rams for another year, maybe 2 years, right? Somewhere around there. It just seems like the sun's getting real low cap. And so it makes sense to have a contingency plan and to also have a quarterback that is going to take over a really good roster, right? A roster that went one game away from the Super Bowl last year, lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions. And so, yes, and get to learn behind Matthew Stafford. Great, phenomenal for Ty Simpson. But then there's the school of thought of, okay, well, if we were going to go get Ty Simpson, was he going to be available later? Because to draft him at 13 with a top 15 pick, that's a little bit rich. And I know that there's folks who are worried that maybe the Jets were going to go get him, right? There was like the Cardinals are going to make some kind of trade and they're going to go get him. That maybe Ty Simpson wouldn't have gotten out of the first round. But you're like, okay, did it have to be at 13? There's that school of thought. Then there's the school of thought of, well, this team was one game away from the Super Bowl and could use a player to put them over the top because it's not the end of the first round. Right? It's not like maybe we're just going to go get a guy and he'll be able to contribute. It's a top 15 pick. And I think that there were guys on the board, maybe even like a Reuben Bain, who could have contributed right away, that maybe that's what gets them over the top and gets them to the Super Bowl this upcoming season. And I get either one because, again, like these are the exact same conversations that Packers fans had when they drafted Jordyn Love. They drafted Aaron Rodgers because are you looking towards the future or are you looking here? The difference between the Packers is one, Jordyn Love was a little bit later, right? And same thing with Aaron Rodgers. He was supposed to be number one overall. They were either going Alex Smith or Aaron Rodgers. So there's some differences there. But I think also the biggest difference is when Love got drafted, they just go to the NFC Championship game. Rodgers had an okay season. Like it was not Aaron Rodgers-esque. That's the one where they got run over by the 49ers and got like blown out in the NFC Championship game. This is before he won back-to-back MVPs. So I feel like there are some significant differences because Matthew Stafford's play was at an incredibly high level. He won MVP. And now with the 13th pick, you're going quarterback to just build for the future and not help this team right this second. So I can understand the frustration as well. It's just like, I get both. I think it's a great thing for Ty Simpson and it could work out really well. But for the win now folks, it's like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, I might be doing a 180 on it because last night I liked it. I was like, you know what? The team I trust is the Rams. I think Sean and Les had different opinions on what they should do there, and Les won out.
I think so.
And the Rams, they have more draft picks, right? They're going to add some more players. It's not like they're not adding anybody. And it all comes down to what you think philosophically on what you should do, how you should do it. But in terms of like success rate, right? We'll use like Jordyn Love for an example there. When teams draft their quarterback successor, I think you got to look at like, did those teams win a Super Bowl while they still had their young or their aging quarterback?
Sure.
And then did they win after with their new quarterback, right? Like that's where you got to study this to see if it works. And the Broncos, when they signed Peyton Manning, they drafted Brock Osweiler. Wasn't in the first round, but like they won because they went all in to give Manning weapons. And you would look at the Rams, acquiring McDuffie, and they've done a lot this offseason. So, it's tricky. And I think you're going to be watching the players that went after Ty Simpson.
Yes.
Oh, cool. I forgot to hold on to measure, the whether or not this was a smart move for the Rams. Let me share the right.
Give me 2 seconds. The mailman just got here. Give me 1 second while you pull that up. The dogs are barking hysterically.
Go shake the mailman's hand.
Go sign for this.
Yeah. There you go. So you'll be looking. They could have had Reuben Bain. They could have added Kenyon Sadiq, Blake Miller, tackle, Freeling, tackle. I would have taken tackles for Stafford. A lot of people thought the Rams would go Makai, Lemon. Just depends. But God, those dogs are loud, huh? What the? Let me go. Yeah, the Bengals didn't mess up the draft. Neither did the Bills or the Niners. They didn't take anybody. It was kind of surprising to watch both Buffalo and San Francisco continue to trade out of the first round. I'm sure Buffalo fans were annoyed, but I think ultimately Buffalo added some quality picks there. They'll be drafting much higher in the second, third, and fourth round for the Bills. Love is the Penix of this draft in that a red team with holes on the defense picked him, and everyone was shocked with his selection, but also to specify it's not because they think he is a bad player. Yeah, there you go. I think that's fair. I think the Cardinals, with the third overall pick, drafting a running back is an ill-advised move for a team that has a long way to go to being truly competitive. Now, you could argue Jeremiah Love, possibly the best player in this draft. Definitely top 3, right? But the Cardinals signed Tyler Algier this offseason. They're bringing back James Conner. They have a couple other... Benson, right? Is Benson still on their depth chart? Oh, my God. Cardinals, Cardinal, depth chart. Let me go. Is it Trey? Am I right? Trey Benson. There we go. Yeah. So
I'm back. Sorry.
If the Cardinals really, really wanted Love, like I think they could have risked trading back and getting him later. There just seems to be other needs in Arizona. So that's why that one's a little tricky. And again, you're right. It's not a knock on Love. I think everybody's high on him and his potential in the NFL. But it's not a surprise that the Cardinals drafted him because there were a lot of people saying the Cardinals were very high on Love.
Yeah.
I just think most of us thought that they weren't going to go running back at 3.
Yeah, I think because I was making this argument when even talking about the Titans, right? Because there's all right, the Titans, they have holes too. They need offensive line. They can go get a premium edge rusher, right? They can get some pieces. But all right, I get it. You have your quarterback. It's Cam Ward. He looks like he's the guy. You give him a good run game, give him another weapon. Great. The Cardinals, it's the same argument, except they don't have a quarterback. They also have holes at O-line. They could use an edge rusher. And it hit the nail right on the head. Like, this is not a Jeremiah Love insult at all. I think he's going to be a really good player. But it kind of reminds me of what the Raiders did with Ashton Genty, right? They had the worst run game in the league, and then they bring in Ashton Genty with a top 10 pick, and you're like, oh, okay, here we go. And it was very difficult for Ashton Genty to get things going last year because of the O-line, because of a number of things. And I think it's just at this point, running back is a little bit of a luxury. And they did bring some guys in. I know that James Conner's getting older, right? But it feels like they could have just built in the trenches or like...
Yeah, they got Algier and Conner. They would have been fine.
Exactly. Like, I think Love is going to be just fine, but they have so many other major question marks, including the offensive line that he's going to run behind. That's kind of why I'm scratching my head a little bit going, okay, this is great player. Don't know for the right spot.
A few rushes for 1,500 yards and has 15 TDs on the ground for him. Great.
Sure.
We won't criticize it if he's, that productive in their offense. The guy who got fucked is Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
He gets out of Atlanta.
I know Falcons fans are like, I'm so sorry.
Like, he could probably be a number 1 back in 15 other, cities in the NFL, but he's playing behind Bijan Robinson, and now he's stuck behind Jeremiah Love.
Yep.
So Tyler, sorry, I wanted to see you get the workload, but love trumps Algier.
There you go.
Is what they say.
What they say. Yeah, that video is crazy too. So the Steelers going to draft Lemon are on the phone with him, and he's like, "Oh man, it's the Steelers." Like, yeah, I'm gonna get drafted. And then he's like, "Why is Philadelphia calling?"
Yeah.
Philadelphia trades up in front of Pittsburgh and steals Lemon, which I think you can think, all right, yeah, AJ Brown. It was already heavily rumored, but he's going to be gone. They go and they get Lemon, a really dynamic wide receiver. He's going to be fun to watch. But how do you feel about that whole thing? Because there was talks about, I mean, Lemon could have potentially gone to the Rams. Like there was talks about him getting drafted there. You know, the Steelers wind up going offensive line, which I don't think is a terrible thing, especially if the thing with Broderick Jones, I'm assuming is not going well. But yeah, I feel like Steelers fans are a little great. Not only did the Philadelphia Eagles steal him, it's all the Cowboys' fault because they're the ones who made the trade.
Yeah.
So there you go. Got to just be mad at the Cowboys.
So the Steelers are probably like, okay, Cowboys are on the clock. We still think we can get Lemon.
Yep.
I don't think Dallas is going receiver. I don't think the Cowboys would trade with the Eagles. Yep. You know, they're probably not going to go in division.
Yep.
Yeah, let's call Makai and tell him he's a Steeler. You forgot about Howie Roseman. He makes deals happen with any devil, including the biggest devil himself, Jared Jones. Yeah, that was a funny moment that we didn't really understand until a little later in the draft. And then you see the video of him being like, wait, Philly's calling me. What does that mean?
Why is Philadelphia calling?
But yeah, Eagles making a move to grab a receiver. Okay.
ABC's asking, did the Jets do something right with their 3 picks? Here's how I feel about the Jets. I am happier that they were able to get a receiver later in that first round, and that makes me feel better about the Sadiq pick. And the reason being is because, like, same thing. I think Sadiq is going to be a really good tight end. Like, I think, you know, he could be a very good football player. The spot that he's going to is a pit of eternal sadness. And the roster that they're building over there, I don't know if going tight end is going to solve all your woes. You still need to figure out quarterback, the whole 9 yards. But I feel like they're taking swings. And for them to be able to get Cooper and Sadiq, I think it's a solid pick. The question is going to be Reese and Bailey, right? That's going to be, you're going to be watching those careers and saying, all right, which guy playing in MetLife, you know, made the right move?
Yeah, I think Bailey is, I think that's a great pick at 2. It's like, because Reese right now, the Giants have already said they're going to play him as a will linebacker, an off-ball linebacker, right?
Yeah, they might throw him inside.
Which he can play both.
Yes.
So that's like, you either like the flexibility of that, or you go that
we'll see there.
That's just a man without a home on the defense, right? Whenever you've got that hybrid type guy, it's really up to the team to make sure they maximize what his actual strength is at the NFL level. Do we trust the Giants to do that? No. Do we trust John Harbaugh? Maybe. So I think Bailey, a true edge guy, going to New York, the other Jersey, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I feel like the Jets had a very good draft.
There you go.
I think he's going to be nice on the edge. You had 2 offensive weapons, arguably hands down the best tight end in the draft. Sadiq was a guy Broncos fans have been eyeing for months because you know, they thought maybe we'd be upgrading. Got rid of the pick, but Sadiq at 16.
I don't know.
I think, like, if you're a Jets fan, you go, okay, that's 3 really nice pieces. I think Omar Cooper, people who started to watch Mendoza were like, damn, who's this receiver? Like, if you don't know shit about college football, like me, right? Like, he's a guy who kind of starts to stand out. And I think opposite Garrett Wilson, you have the pieces, and you're assuming the Jets are still going to be bad in 2026. And that's a good thing because this feels like the plan for their quarterback that they'll take next year. But yeah, it's like I wanted, like, you want to make fun of the Jets? I can't for this draft. I think they did a very solid job.
Yeah, I feel like, again, it's building for the future, especially on offense, and it's building for a guy who's not on the roster yet. You know, like it's whoever the quarterback is going to be, right, is going to be it. You mentioned Wilson, now you have Sadiq, you have Cooper. Like those are some good targets to throw to, especially for a young quarterback. So
if the Jets are not in position to draft a quarterback in 2027, they can call the Rams and possibly trade for Ty Simpson.
There you go. Bain downs. Proctor was I feel like I don't hate the Dolphins going offensive line, but I love the Chris Johnson pick. I was praying that he was going to be around when the Packers were drafting. Just he's the guy who had the insane combine. He ran a 4.40. Yeah, I think he's gonna make that secondary much better. So the Dolphins needed a lot of help at a lot of spots. And yes, they still definitely need some weapons, but I feel like the Dolphins are, you hope Malik Willis is the guy, but you're going to be rebuilding this year, right? So it's, all right, get the pieces. If you can make that offensive line a little bit more sturdy for whoever the quarterback is going to be in the short-term and long-term future, rock out. And I really like the Johnson pick. I think that's pretty good. I will say my favorite pick of the night is Bain to the Buccaneers. I love that pick. So the fact that they didn't have to do anything, the fact that they've needed an edge rusher for as long as they have, and they got one of the best ones in the draft. I love the fact that Bain's there.
Yeah, that's probably the best value pick of the first round, getting Bain at 15. For any of us men with not long arms, this is a huge win for us. Huge win for short-armed men. A lot of people like to focus on height. Women of today, when they check dating profiles, they're looking at wingspan. Okay? That's what they're looking for.
How do you know?
You told me.
I'm not on dating apps, though.
Yeah, you were until a week ago.
That's not true.
Yes, you were.
I've actually never downloaded a dating app before. I'm too old. I missed that boat.
I search on the desktop still.
I search on the desktop, and I'm like, pretty ladies near me. Yeah, I think that you talk about value. Bain going there, and then Reese also falling to the Giants. They had Reese as their number one. Like, they asked him straight up, because, like, that's never revealed. And that's why I really enjoyed that interaction. They're like, oh, where'd you have him? And they're like laughing their ass off. They're like, yeah, we had him at number one. Like, John Harbaugh's like, can we tell him? Like, it was good. And it was funny because I don't know if you saw that Malik Neighbors clip. So Malik Neighbors was on doing a live. And Malik Neighbors is like breaking down this pick like he's a scout. And he was not super happy that they didn't go and get Caleb Downs because they really wanted some secondary help. But they're like, hey, like, you just drafted Abdul Carter. You still have Thibodeau on the team. But it's, as you just said, they're already planning on moving Reese around. And they can do that because he's versatile. Yeah. So I don't hate this pick. And when you go value, if your number one guy is sitting there at 5, yeah, you go and you get him. I like what the Giants did.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you're talking about defensive athletes in this draft, Reese, Styles, and, Caleb Downs are like the 3 off the chart dudes. And they could have had Caleb at 10, but they go offensive tackle.
Yep.
I like Mauigoa. I think what I learned that I maybe should have known is he's got a bulging disc in his back that is asymptomatic. But that's the risk with him at this point. That came up in I think the combine process or something. Like, yeah, you got a bulging disc in your back. And he's like, it doesn't hurt me. And then he said he would die for Jackson Dart. So you're like, okay, I really like this guy.
Yeah, you're right.
But I don't think I like active players doing live streams during the draft.
Sure.
I think it's entertaining. Like, as somebody who wants to see something entertaining, it's great to have a current player being like, I don't know if we should have drafted that guy. That's drama. That's, you have to look at it. But holy fuck, if I'm a team, I'm gonna be like, you cannot be doing live streams while we're drafting. Like,
And
that
also,
seems like a stupid thing to cause unnecessary controversy
sure,
around players. Like Malik Neighbors has been in the draft or in the NFL for what? He's going into his 3rd season. He's actually making some solid points too while he's talking through this stuff. I just don't want my team, like guy on my team, doing that shit about players we just selected. It seems unfair to the guys who are getting drafted.
Reese is walking in and being like, "Oh, hey man, saw the clip."
Yeah, you wanted Caleb Downs? Fuck you, dude. I'm gonna stop the run and sack the quarterback. Like I'm here to help, and I don't think there's gonna be any issue. Like
no,
but he's on there with Micah Parsons, which was weird when he started streaming during the draft.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe I'm getting old, but I don't like it, Tom.
I don't like it there. People are bringing up
these young punks up.
That's it. These the Chiefs. So they make a big time move. Cleveland was stocking some picks, and so was Buffalo. But going and get Delane, I love the pick here for the Chiefs. I understand that they gave up some capital to go get him, but you're getting the best corner in the draft. You just lost McDuffie. I don't know. I really like this pick for them. Like, take a big swing. Why not? Who knows how long you're going to be picking around this area anyway. And then I know that there's some folks who are like, hey, we still need to go get like an edge rusher, which they can. The pickings are getting a little slim. But yeah, how do you feel about this as a Broncos fan?
I hope Mansoor Delane buys a Powerball ticket and wins the max jackpot and retires tomorrow.
Got it.
I hope he holds out. Hope he demands a trade. Fuck those Chiefs. I watched Cole's reaction to it, and he thought they were going to go Reuben Bain there. So I think Chiefs fans went from thinking they were going to get like their edge guy to getting the best corner in the draft, which is not like it's. I don't want to say they were disappointed. I think maybe just a little surprised by the pick. But in terms of filling an immediate hole, it makes more sense. Like,
yeah.
They needed a corner, I think, more than an edge rusher after getting rid of 2 of their corners, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a solid pick from. I don't know if they had to move up to get him though. That was like the question. Were the Browns going to take corner? Were the Commanders going to go corner? Were the Saints going to go corner? Don't know. Maybe Washington. But yeah, I think it's a solid pick.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with the Bucks there. Is Julian Neal good if he falls to Green Bay? I thought he would be maybe an early day 3 pick. He's really good at run defense, so that's kind of nice. He's not my number 1 corner, but if they double dip and go get him, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they actually do tonight. No, I feel like Scooter's going to be insufferable, right? Because they got Caleb Downs and they went out and got Malachi Lawrence. Lawrence was a guy when I was doing stuff for the Packers that he was always around when the Packers were picking, but he has been shooting up those draft boards the past week or so. So they go get edge and they also make that secondary better. I feel like if you're a Cowboys fan, you're pretty happy today.
Yeah, pretty solid draft for the boys. Solid first round.
It's got to draft a quarterback.
People don't want to admit it, but the Cowboys might have done an all right job.
Yes, they did. Yeah, the Lions made a whole lot of sense going offensive line.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a sexy pick, but it is a desperate position of need. So that works out. Caleb Banks, I saw some Vikings fans be like, okay about. But I was mentioning this, like they went and gave a big old contract to Hargrave last year, who was cut after a season of not really doing much. Now the Packers picked him up to help their defensive line, but they just needed a body on the D line, and I think at least Caleb Banks can provide that. He's also going to be good at stopping the run. So I think they could have gone other positions here, but their biggest issue is JJ McCarthy, our quarterback. So, go and try to make that defense even better because their defense was really good at the end of the year.
Yeah, they kind of. I mean, I think it was Daniel Jeremiah. His initial reaction to Caleb Banks was like, "This is a reach," based on where Jeremiah had him graded. He's like, "I had him at like the 51st best player available in the draft." I think we kind of learned over the last month or so, it's not a deep class on the defensive interior, but a need for Minnesota, sure. Knowing some teams were, trying to trade, maybe they could have went back and added another pick and still had him. But, if he's their guy, then I hope it works out. But that one, I feel like that was the biggest overall reach of the first round. A little annoying we didn't have a bigger reach, but
I mean,
and it's just because he has some injury concerns, right? Is that what it is with Caleb?
Yeah, because he got I think it was his foot or something. Ashley saying, go Commies. Great picks with Sonny Styles. He and JD5 are going to be dominant. Hope they also get a good wide receiver. Oh, yeah. Commanders, it's so funny that you had the Cowboys fan and the Giants fan arguing who was going to get Sonny Styles yesterday, and the Commanders were the one that got him. They're another team that just had to sit there, and they got one of the best players in the draft. Like, I feel like that's one of the picks you don't overthink. It just goes, oh, yeah, Sonny Styles is one of the best players. Cool. Now we have him on defense. Yeah, I think that I think they're going to be just fine with that.
You like football?
Yeah, I do.
We do too.
We do too.
I like that the Commanders added a defender that is not 37 years old. So
that is nice.
Huge win.
Bringing the age average way down.
Yes.
Jordyn Tyson. Okay, couple things. One, let's back up real quick. When Jeremiah Love was chosen, the Titans, I think the Titans would have gone Love, but they go wide receiver.
Yeah, right? That was kind of a surprise. That was the first real surprise to me.
They, I feel like it makes sense, because they've desperately needed weapons, right? The only other thing I would have liked to see them do is go offensive line, just because of Cam Ward was sacked a good amount last year. But getting Tate, one of the best wide receivers in the class, yeah, I think Cam Ward's going to be pretty happy about that. He's just going to have to run a little bit longer.
Yeah, I like it. A flashy pick for the Titans. And then they got back up into the first.
And they go edge.
Number 31, traded with the Bills. And they got Keldrick Falk, edge rusher out of Auburn. I was listening to Jeffrey Simmons this morning. And he was annoyed by the Falk pick. Only because he is out in Pittsburgh to announce their round 2 draft pick. So he's like, did they just fucking fly me out to Pittsburgh for no reason? And he actually gave a strong endorsement of Reuben Bain. So I thought that was interesting, but I think 2 solid additions. I love Tate at 4 for them.
Jordyn Tyson to the Saints. Speaking of wide receivers, that was another one. I was like, okay, like maybe they were going to go edge rusher, because there's guys that were still on the board. This is the first time I think the last 4 years or 5 years they've gone offensive line with their first pick. But now combining Tyson and Olave for a guy that they're really high on and Shuck is going to be, that's going to be a fun ass combo, man.
I think it's a nice pick for the Saints. And when the Chiefs moved up to 6, I thought it was going to be for a wide receiver because Tate went off the board.
Sure.
And I was like, the Browns could draft receiver, the Commanders could draft receiver, and the Saints could draft receiver. So when the Chiefs got aggressive, I thought it was going to be for a wide receiver. So that was another reason I was kind of surprised they went corner. And that was because Tate went at 4. But yeah, I think you like Tyson. There are people who are trying to argue Jordyn Tyson as the number 1 receiver in the draft.
Yeah.
I don't know who those people were, but I did hear it.
Yeah. No, but that, again, I think the combo's going to be fun. I like what Cleveland did. Again, they stockpiled some picks. They go offensive line. I think makes a ton of sense for what they needed. I know that drafting a wide receiver later, there was some okay, KC, is he the guy? But I feel like just building up on that offense for whoever the hell your quarterback is going to be, and I mean that whoever the hell he's going to be, they're not going to be complaining about going to get some protection and also a weapon to throw to.
Yeah, I think
Hang on, Mom.
if Casey Concepcion, if he can improve his hands, right? The knock on him was too many drop passes in college. Then this is a nice pick for the Browns, because I think there's a lot of people who, when they're talking about KC, it's about his route running ability, his ability to separate, to get open. I think he's thought of as the best at that in this draft, but the knock has been dropped balls. And as somebody who just watched a bunch of Browns highlights, I was reminded of Jerry Jeudy dropping a lot of passes. And I just hope KC doesn't have that same issue that Jeudy currently has, because it's the thing that's made Jerry Jeudy not as effective as an NFL receiver as he should be. He needs to be a little more physical. He needs to make more of the tough catches, and he doesn't a lot of the time. So they're taking a guy who's had some, I don't know about like his contested catch rate or any of that shit, but like that's where I'm like, okay, we'll see if it works out for the Browns. And then, of course, like if they had a good quarterback, you'd be like, okay, this is great. He can develop. Yeah. You can fix that. But they don't have that yet.
Correct.
But tackle, I like I like Fano going there. And the one thing I also noticed with the Browns, like a lot of their younger players were playing well towards the end of the season, but Fannin and Judkins got hurt late. I thought Isaiah Bond was playing well late. So I think they've got a little more talent at the skill positions than we were, I don't know, thinking. There's just some injuries there that knocked it for him. But what about Dylan Thieneman going to the Bears?
So it was interesting because hearing the Bears brass talk about him, because I think he's a very good safety, right? And it is a position that they could have used some help on. They talked about they felt a little confident in their pass rush, and they were just like, but the quarterback will hold on to the opposing quarterback will hold on to the ball a little bit longer, but we trust now our secondary. And that, I think, gives a little bit of trepidation for Bears fans, because edge rusher definitely is a position of need. They could have also gone defensive line here, but I mean, because he had a couple picks at the Thieneman too. So like if he's adding, I was talking about this last night, if he's able to add to that ball hawking secondary, because that's what made the Bears defense stand out last year, right? Where times where they were getting burned or things like that, they at least were able to generate a ton of turnovers. Are they going to be able to do that again this year? That will be that's a big question. But I think the Thieneman making that secondary a bit better and also potentially adding to the takeaways, that's what makes this good. But you would want to see the Bears go after a pass rusher, I think, still, just to make that pass rush a bit better.
I'm just happy that after breaking up the exciting whites,
so the dream.
Oh wait, no, never mind. I was thinking the Eagles. Why am I thinking the Eagles?
Funny. I don't know.
Why am I thinking the Eagles?
I don't know.
Oh,
that's okay, Box. It's okay. We're here.
I think I would like when I was listening to some of the draft podcast nerds, I think Dylan Thieneman was a guy that the nerds liked later in the process.
Sir?
The nerds like him, Tom.
The nerds do like him. I think he's a good safety.
I think
it's true, Mansoor.
I think he's going to haunt the Packers. I think the Packers were trying to trade up to get him, and they couldn't get the deal done.
I mean, no. Because the Goody said no.
I think the Packers really wanted this guy.
They were pretty happy with how the board. Why would we go get a safety? Our safety unit's actually good. We just need corners. Corners are a big position to need. We completely rebuilt. We got Xavier McKinney. We got Javon Bullard. You know what? I hope you trade out of the second round too.
Nope, we're at the end.
hope.
We're going back to get him.
Yep. Oh, dude, I loved Chris Johnson too. So, yeah, Halfley going after that, a guy with a ton of speed. Yeah, I think Dolphin. I love that pick for the Dolphins. I love that pick. The Buffalo Bills traded a bunch and then traded out of the first round.
Bills fans were annoyed.
Bills fans were not super happy. I've been there before. You stay up real late and then your team.
Did they trade 3 times out last night?
Yeah, they traded a bunch. Sorry, 2 shoes. Yeah, they go Rutledge. I know that there are some people scratching their heads about just which guard they went and got, but I'm very happy with the position that they're targeting, just to give CJ Stroud his best opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, they need help.
Yeah, they do. I really like the Lomu pick for the Patriots. They were the other team that traded up with the Bills, and I understand you need wide receiver. You're probably going to go get AJ Brown in June. Drake May needed help. I mean, he's the most sacked quarterback in playoff history. So yeah, but I'm okay with this.
Yeah, no, I think New England adding to their offensive line is smart. And I think we saw the issues their line had in the playoffs. I don't think their line was as I think you look at their line before and after Campbell got hurt, because I think he was playing pretty well until he got injured. And then everybody just roasted him for the rest of the season. But I think anytime you're adding to your line when you have a young quarterback, there's not a lot to be like, oh, that sucks. It's just not, it's probably not sexy. And I think I think you're getting AJ Brown by June, even with all the other weird shit happening on the Patriots in their organization. So
yep. That's my dream pick right now. The fact that he's still on the board, I'm okay with that. Well, we'll see. Because McCoy falls out of the first round. So we were talking about that on GPS, about the injury concerns that maybe that's going to put teams did not go for him. So I figure McCoy is one of the more risky selections, but if he's able to stay healthy, folks are going to be super duper happy, whoever drafts him. But yeah, I would love to go get Terrell. Oh my God, that would make me so happy. And I'd trade up to go get him.
Ooh. Moving up to get a Ioane.
Yep. Yeah, Josh Downs' little brother, Indy plays Dallas this year, so we get a battle of the down. Hey, might get a brother battle again. Peter Woods going to the Chiefs. Again, I know that there's a bunch of Chiefs fans that wanted to go get an edge rusher here, but I like Woods because they just need help in the trenches. So I'm okay with them going to get Woods here if they're able to go and land an edge rusher. And I know that's the concern about this draft class, that after some guys in the first and the second, there's a huge drop off. But I think it was a solid pick. Make that defense better.
I don't think the Chiefs need to sack opposing quarterbacks, honestly. I think that's a misconception.
Yep.
I think that's a misconception.
There you go, Sippy. You're happy.
I think that's a misconception about KC. Oh,
look at you.
I worked right into it. It took me a second, but
we got there.
Into it.
We drove there. How do you feel about that Seahawks pick? They could have gone corner.
Oh, I think it makes the most sense.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
I thought they were definitely going to move out because they said they're really trying to move out. But yeah, until Charbonnet is healthy, which is giant question mark, you lose Kenneth Walker. I think running back was a greater need for them to replace right away. So
yeah,
love it.
Do the Bengals make the right move? Can you scroll back up, Perna? So if they're sitting at 10, they could have gotten Bain if they really want to go edge rusher there. I don't know. I still like Dexter Lawrence. I think both teams are very happy with the trade, but I like Dexter Lawrence there because the Bengals are kind of in this win now mode, man.
Yeah.
They get an established player that they know is going to make a difference on that defense. They don't have to wait for him to develop or anything like that. You do have a shorter window than, what a potential Reuben Bain is going to have, because I think just he's younger. But yeah, I feel like given the Bengals track record too with the draft, I'm okay with them going to get.
I would like to see them go receiver at 10 had they stayed there.
Squirrel White, of course. There you go, Chris. Squirrel White.
I think Bengals made the right move. Out of all the teams not drafting in the first round, the Bengals and the Broncos with Dexter Lawrence and Jalen Waddle, like, you like what those guys bring to their teams that traded for them.
Sure.
They're proven players that address a need each of those teams had. So, and the Bengals gave up, a lot, but
they're getting a proven playmaker. Like this is your time to go and try and win it all. So, the Chargers not going offensive line, but going edge with Mesidor. I like he can learn behind Khalil Mack, and making that defense better is not a bad thing. I think Justin Herbert just needs help. But if their offensive line's healthy this year, they're going to be in a better spot than where they were last year anyway.
Yeah, that's like the caveat when you're thinking about the Chargers and needing to address their O-line. Like, their O-line should be significantly better with good health.
Yeah. That's
stealing that. That's mine now, Tyler.
That's mine.
The
A.J. Brown trade to Pat Skildy ends up at the Chiefs. Oh, man.
Oh.
I don't think the Eagles would do that. I could be wrong, but
the Chargers only have 4 more draft picks too, by the way.
Yeah, they don't have a ton.
I didn't realize that.
Yakis, maybe. The Panthers also going offensive line. Big fan of that. Big fan. Not sexy, but another one. Just protect Bryce Young. No, they can still go get some more weapons and stuff. There's some wide receivers they could target on day 2, but
I think getting Freeling at 19, that's great.
Cowboys should focus on in the 3rd. So they get there, they make their secondary a little bit better. They can go linebacker. They could go D-line. They could draft another Tyler if they really want to. But yeah, I still think that they're going to aim defense just because of how bad their defense was last year. But I think you're pretty happy right now as a Cowboys fan with who you got. I think so. You get some premium positions. So, yeah.
Yeah, one thing that did not happen so far is, because it went down right at the end of clickbait. George Pickens agreed to sign his tag.
Yep.
His tag, and there's thought that the Cowboys might move George Pickens. The Cowboys have said they are not going to trade him, but that's exactly what you say after you do that.
True.
And then I think like Ian Rappaport said the same thing, but there are thoughts that they could try and move George Pickens still.
Yes.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I think it would depend on, for the Cowboys, like, if they're in a spot where they can draft a receiver that they like, and then they do that. It's like, I think it's for Dallas kind of like a wait and see if we can get 1 or 2 of the guys that we would want to bring in, but something to keep an eye on.
Yes, no, and that's the thing. Like, what would that trade value look like? Because whoever is trading for him is going to have to give him a ton of money.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're going to have to do a contract extension. So they have the ability to trade him, but I agree with that. You would think that there's going to be a wide receiver in place, that the capital is right, and also the prospect is right there for you too. So.
Mahomes would just shoot his eye out with that thing.
Hey, if the Bears are able to get a really good edge rusher still, then yeah, Chicago is doing okay. Yeah, if you get a guy like TJ Parker, you'll be just fine with that. Just fine.
Yeah, and I think if you're Dallas, you want Pickens there this season. Like,
I think so.
I think that's plan A, but I think it's just the timing of him agreeing to sign the tag is what made people go, ooh. Because by signing the tag, he is easier to trade at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'll happen, but day 2, maybe.
Also, can't believe the James Pierce news. Yeah, we were talking about that last night on the stream. Like, holy God, man. We talk about it on this show. Like, hey, like his NFL career might be over.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, he's just got to go to therapy and just not get in trouble for a little bit. And it was like, oh, okay. So yeah, those lawyers be doing something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you can look at it two ways, right? You don't want to see a young guy have like his entire career, effed up. But the shit
consequences
he did,
for actions.
The shit he did was, what were all the charges?
And apparently, like, the victim is okay with it. That's what was reported too. I'm sure that there's like settlement money, and I'm sure that there's something. I did not expect this to be the result where it felt very slap on the hand of like, okay, don't do that again.
Yeah, here it was charges of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, fleeing police, and resisting arrest, along with misdemeanor stalking. Yeah. So that was the part, the relationship, the stalking, the weird shit there, with the WNBA player. So like, I thought he was going to definitely be suspended.
Sure.
At least this year. But I don't know. Because there's a weird car wreck. He was stalking her, then there was a car accident, and that's when like the arrest happened. So it looked pretty bad. And I had a video in the works about a bunch of stuff, and I just never got to it. And I was like, this one's fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he can get actual help that really helps him, then that's a good thing. But
rehabilitation, good thing.
Yeah, I would say the stalking and battery is the big red flag.
Yeah,
for me.
I don't know about that one. If the Giants make Thibodeau available, would 2 4s be enough for New Orleans to get him? That's another one. You're gonna have to give him a big time contract. It depends on. They might, going and getting Abdul Carter. Depending on what they decide to do with Reese.
Would the Bears be interested in making a move?
That'd be interesting. I think they'd want a little bit more, but I think 2 4s you're getting around the area. You're because again, you're just gonna have to pay him a whole lot of money. So, hey, there you go, Sippy. Now the Bills, like, they got a bunch of draft picks. Now you actually just have to use them.
Yeah. Look, so you got some great corners at the top available
Terrell,
here.
Please give me Terrell. Please.
McCoy, first round guy, but got a knee injury right now, so that's why he slid. Another receiver, Denzel Boston.
Boston's still available
into the first.
McDonald still on that D line.
That could be Buffalo, Boston, Buffalo.
Hood, Santos. Yeah, there's some good players that are still there, man. Oh my God, I know Terrell's gonna go early, but I want him so bad. I want him so bad. Yeah, the Bills just traded down again. Yes. Brazel's still available. He's been climbing up some draft boards.
Ooh, I want that guy just for Brazel.
Brazzle dazzle.
Brazel. Razzle dazzle Brazel in the end zone.
What's the best pick for the Broncos?
Get me pregnant, baby. Best pick for the Broncos? It's Brazel. I would like to see the Broncos get aggressive and go get their linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez, CJ Allen. You got some good linebackers available. Ooh, Anthony Hill.
It's true food.
There's going to be a run on linebackers at some point in the second here, probably early.
There's some fun wide receivers too.
Yeah, give me a linebacker, baby.
There's TJ Parker.
There's TJ
still in there. Oh man, it's going to be. I always really like night 2 because I feel like that's also teams get they get a little bit more aggressive. I forget what team was talking about this last night. Was it maybe the Bills or it was the 49ers that was talking about? Like, teams like they get a little shaky and they sleep on it. And they're like, oh man, we got to go and get our guy, and that they make big time trades in the beginning. So we had a bunch of trades last night in round 1. I think that's going to continue tonight.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are going to have to move up in round 2. Damn it.
Do you have the capital to do so? How many picks do you have?
They've got a bunch of, they've got a 2 4ths, a 5th, and 3 7ths.
Okay, so I can move around.
They're at 62. They don't have a 3rd round pick. But yeah, you can probably package one of those fourths to move up if you want. That'd be nice. I would like to see him move up for a linebacker. You know, Greenlaw's gone. They brought back Singleton. I just think it's been a position they need to address in the draft, and they haven't. They kind of tried to with Drew Sanders years ago, but he's been hurt the whole time. You guys, are Packers looking at linebacker?
It could be a position, but I don't think that's their number one thing they're going after right now. I know they lost Quay Walker, but they have Cooper there. They also got the guy from the Colts. Yeah, I
feel like the Niners moving out of the first round, just admitting like, dude, we suck at drafting early. Let's not.
Let's just do it here.
Bill's kind of the same. Like, you know what? Let's just get out of this first round. This is where we do our worst.
Yeah, this is. I mean, because it's an interesting lineup too. I would not be surprised you see some teams move up into these early picks here, because the Packers, they don't have a pick until 52. So
this is a very important question, Tim.
There you go.
It's just a perfect fucking show, Tim. There's 3 perfect shows in my opinion, start to finish. Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Mad Men.
I don't feel like Mad Men was a little rushed at the end.
Nope.
That's a good show.
Maybe not the strongest final season, but dear God. The first 3 seasons, they're perfect. Also, Tim, I think there is a part of me that just wishes I was living in that era where I could drink all day at work and be paid to drink all day at work.
And smoke cigarettes.
And also be very handsome and good at my job. I'm living vicariously through... not John Hamm. I want to be Roger Sterling. No responsibility, you know? I just want to drink all day at work, okay?
I mean, technically you could drink all day. I mean, there'll be consequences to that, but you could drink all day at work.
Is too hard. I can't do this. I had 1 beer last night. I'm like, why? Why'd I do that?
Well, your tummy usually doesn't do beer. Love how I know this about you.
My tummy doesn't do a lot of things.
Your tummy doesn't do a lot of things, but
my tummy hates everything I put into it.
It happens. Yeah. Oh, Babylon 5. Good show. A little Farscape action too. Good show.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'm still a little depressed over it. It's a great ending. I still think my favorite episode of that, I have to go back and rewatch it, but I think my favorite episode is still the carousel. God, I love when he does that pitch. It's just it's such a great episode.
Yeah, I just watched the one where him and Peggy get into it. That's also a very good episode.
Yeah.
There's so many good episodes. And like you the more you watch that show, the more you pick up on. I think that's what's like a good show. When you really start to see what they're doing with the fucking writing, you're like, oh man, that is so smart.
That's good stuff.
But anyway.
Perna, what do you got coming out tonight? Shout out to Andor.
The real winners and losers of the NFL draft.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, give me a few hours, but I'll have every NFL fan's reaction to round 1 of the draft coming out, and then I will be streaming rounds 2 and 3 tonight. And then I'll be having some Packers videos that I'll be doing for the prospects that they wind up picking. Yeah.
I just hope some more Vrabel Rossini photos drop today. I haven't seen enough.
But
some of the AI videos are getting out of control, though.
It's not gonna make anything better. Oh, dude, yeah.
Vrabel on Maury Povich.
Yeah, Povich. Yeah.
Come on, guys. Yeah. Come on.
But folks, appreciate the hell out of you. I will see you later this evening for the stream. Are you streaming, Perna, or no?
Tonight?
Yeah.
For one pick? No.
That's a no.
No, if the Broncos do something interesting, we'll get a video up on that, or I'll do like a live stream reaction to it. But
there you go. Yes, sir. But folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on Monday. I'll see you tonight. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS, and you have been navigated.
And you reached your destination. And yeah, Fringe was a good show. Fringe was a good network.
Oh, there you go. Show. You gotta watch Better Call Saul, man.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Great. Perfect ending.
Saul's great.